Timeline. Dear students, in this chapter we will study about the important events which have been taken place from the year 1857 to 1948. So the first event, it was held on the 10th May 1857, that was Indian Rebellion of 1857. This event was also called India's first war of independence. The Great Rebellions, the Indian Mutiny, or the Sepoy Mutiny. It began on the 10th May 1857 as a mutiny of sepoys of the British East India Company Army. Sepoys in the presidency of Bengal revolted against their British officers. Another event was held on 20th December 1985, the formation of Indian National Congress. From its foundation on 20th December 1885 by A. O. Hume until the time of independence of India on 15th August 1947, the Indian National Congress was considered to be the largest and the most prominent Indian public organization and central and defining influence of the Indian independent movement. The partition of Bengal. It was held on 16th October 1905. The decision to effect the partition of Bengal was announced in July 1905 by the Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon. The partition took place on 16th October 1905 and separated the largely Muslim eastern areas from the largely Hindu western areas. The event was taken place on December 30, 1906, the formation of Muslim League, a political organization of India and Pakistan founded 1906 as the All India Muslim League by Aga Khan III. Its original purpose was to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in India, and it was held just after 1 year the partition of Bengal, because it was done by the Britishers who wanted to divide and rule. The next event taken place on July 1914, when Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa, where he led Indians in a non-violent movement against racial discrimination. He emerged as an international leader and is respected all over the world. December 29, 1916, Lucknow Pact, an agreement made by the Indian National Congress headed by Maratha leader Bal Gangadhar Tilak and the All India Muslim League led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. It was adopted by the Congress at its Lucknow session on December 29 and by the League on December 31, 1916. The meeting at Lucknow marked the reunion of the moderate and radical wings of the Congress. The pact dealt both with the structure of government of India and with the relation of Hindu and Muslim communities. Rowlatt Satyagrah. In 1919, Gandhiji gave a call for a satyagrah against the Rowlatt Act, passed by the British. The act restricted the freedom of expression and strengthened policy powers. Mahatma Gandhi, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and others strongly opposed this act. June 28, 1919, the Khilafat movement. This was an agitation by Indian Muslims allied with Indian nationalism in the year the following World War I. Its purpose was to pressure the British government to preserve the authority of the Ottoman Sultan as Caliph of Islam. The following the breakup of the Ottoman Empire at the end of the war. The event was held on September 28, 1920. It was non-cooperation movement. Gandhi ji started the non-cooperation movement for removing British in January 1920 after the Jallianwala massacre, and it aimed to resist British rule in India through non-violent means. On March 12, 1930, the civil disobedience event was taken place. Indian independence leader Mohandas Gandhi begins a defiant march to the sea in the protest of the British monopoly on salt. His boldest act of civil disobedience yet against British rule in India. Civil disobedience refers to the active refusal to obey certain laws, demands, and commands of a government or of an occupying international power. The Quit India campaign. It was held August 8, 1942. The Quit India movement had three stages. The first, they hit British policy officers with their cudgels during a street riot. The second stage consisted of British military students stopping peasants' revolts. Finally, the two groups had a general mood of hatred until the British backed out. May 24, 1947, Hindu-Muslim conflict. It was taken place before the independence of India. The Hindu-Muslim conflict, this division between the Muslim League and Hindu Congress Party began growing. The Muslims feared that since they were a minority, their rights would be ignored. The Muslim leaders Muhammad Ali wanted a separate nation. August 15, 1947, Indian independence. The British passed the India Independence Act, which ended British rule in India. It also divided the subcontinent into two countries, Pakistan and India. Mass violence also led to a mass migration throughout the subcontinent. All the Hindus moved to India and Hindus Pakistan. January 30, 1948, Gandhi assassinated. Gandhi ji was sickened by all the violence and refused to celebrate their independence. A fellow Hindu extremist, believing him to be a traitor, assassinated him during prayer. The assassin and his conspirator was hanged, and it was a great loss for the India. So, dear students, in this chapter, we read about some important events which had taken place from 1857 to 1948, and by this we came to know some of the important event which was taken place in India. So read more and more this chapter. Be at home safely. Thanks.